Today we're going to be looking at the DNV-9 digital night vision system. The purpose of today's video is to showcase the modularity of the system, that it can be set up as a monocular, as a binocular, as a quad panoramic, and lastly as a handheld monocular. So we've got all of the parts associated with the system here in front of me, and I'm going to show you how to change it between each configuration and what that looks like. So for those who don't know me, my name is Matthew McCluskey. I am the CEO and Chief Engineer of Hoplite Industries. And apologies for the audio quality, thanks to the commies at Shopify thinking our money was in fact their money. Mike was not on the budget. Anyway, let's get into it. So to begin, we'll go over the first configuration, which is the monocular. We have three of them set up here in the different colors we offer the DNV-9 in. That is Ranger Green, Black, and Flat Dark Earth, together with matching battery packs. So, brief overview of the device, start in the middle here. That is your on button, toggles on, toggles off. That is the connector for the battery pack. The device articulates 90 degrees, snaps into position. On the underside of the tube, we have three buttons. First button towards the front is frame rate, that changes between 30 and 60 FPS. Two buttons towards the rear are brightness up and down. So whenever the device turns on, it'll restore to the default of 60 FPS and the lowest brightness. That's what you'll be using 90% of the time with this. So up front we have a manual focus, like most night vision, and for IPD or width adjustment, you can turn this dial here on the arm, and the tube will shift laterally away from the bridge, and then back in to close it up. And that is about all there is to the mono. Next we'll show how to turn a mono into a bino and what that looks like. So here we have a black bino. Now as they arrive, they will have rubber plugs and a plug protector here. So first step is to remove those. That opens up this side of the bridge, ready to accept another tube. Here it is. Simply by using the IPD dial, you line up the holes and thread it in. So once that's threaded in, we can attach the power cable, and that threads in too. And once that's done, we have a complete bino. Very straightforward, articulates. Again, for width adjustment, turn these two dials here. It'll shift the tubes apart. And that's a complete bino. So next we're going to look at the panoramic setup. For that we use the FDE parts here, and we'll start by breaking down a mono. We have it here. So first we want to strip the tube away from the bridge. To do that we need to disconnect the power first. Like that. And then again with the IPD dial, detach it from the bridge. Okay, once that's free, what we want to do is take off this articulating arm. Now to do that, you need a 2.5mm Allen wrench. Now with that piece off, we have bare tube. Next, we want to take this rear lens off. So by twisting this retention ring, that will come right off and we have our strip tube. go here with the other 3. So once we have our 4 strip tubes here, next is to install the panoramic lenses here. So just like taking off the other one, put it in place and twist the retention ring. So it's important for this step to leave it just a little bit loose, just for now. There we have it. So do that to both sets. So there we have both assembled with their lenses. The next is installing these top plates. So that will just sit on top and bridge the 2 together with the power terminals. So with that in place, you need to tighten up all 8 screws. For demonstration purposes, I'll just do 2 aside. So once that's firmly secured, you can then go and tighten these retention rings properly. That is one half of the panoramic. Next step is the panoramic bridge. So again, as with going from mono to bino, we prepare the bridge by taking off these protective plugs and cap. Set them aside. Now these are the panoramic arms. And just like before, that'll slide in and tighten with the IPD dial. And there we have a complete panoramic bridge. So up next we need a 4mm Allen wrench and these 2 socket screws. So you'll see here on the top plate of each side there are 2 grooves. These are symmetrical and can be left or right. So what you do is you key those in with this tab here, like so. And if you look underneath, you get the hole to align, and you insert the cap screw, and you tighten it up. And you repeat that for the other half. Now we flip it over and attach the power cables. And there we have it, a complete panoramic. So now for your IPD or width adjustment, you turn this dial here on both sides, and that will move the pods in and out. There it is. So the 4th and final configuration is the handheld monocular. Now this can be achieved with this 1-piece adapter that just mounts onto the top plate. For demonstration, this is one of our Gen 1 units. calling this the DNV-9-30. So it's limited to 30 frames per second and now comes with digital zoom. But this handheld unit will be compatible with all DNV-9 tubes. So built in is a 18650 battery compartment and a 940 nanometer IR illuminator with a zoom function. Now with this setup, controls are very straightforward. You have on, off, and illuminator, on, off. That's the handheld device. And then lastly, the battery packs. So these are our latest version. They accept 4 18650s. They open it up by unscrewing this dial, which is captive. The lid will pop off. There is a rubber gasket to make it waterproof. Now you see markings on the top which indicate how the batteries go in. So it takes all 4 to operate, and you just put the lid back on, thread it down tight, then the power cable inserts in here and threads in place. Now the cable will just pop into this guide here, and then this cable will go into the back of your device. Click on. And there we have it. So that concludes the 4 configurations of the DNV-9. We've got the Monocular, the Binocular, the Panoramic, and the Handheld. That's pretty much all there is to it. That brings us to the end of this video on the DNV-9 and its modular capabilities. Now, this is only the beginning for Hoppate Industries. We have some exciting things coming next year, 2025, so stay tuned. Thank you everyone for your support, and God bless.